And we're going to move forward as the hybrid format event for the fourth edition of the Paris Infra Week. We're going to the keynote address with the video connection from Brussels by Ilham KADRI, Chairwoman and CEO at Solvay. Can you hear me, Ms. KADRI?
Yes, I can.
And we can
Hello,
hear you
everyone.
loud and clear as well. We're very happy to have you here from Brussels with us for this extraordinary inaugural day of the Paris Infra Week. And please, you have the keynote speech and the floor is yours, Madame KADRI.
Thank you very much. And hello, everyone. Indeed, greetings from Brussels. I can almost feel the crisp air of Paris in the fall. And I wish I could be with you in person today, but I'm glad this event is taking place anyway. Well, listen, last year, France became the most attractive country in Europe, and quite well deserved. I see it as a symbol, as Paris was also the place where the COP21 agreement was signed. And I'm delighted that Solvay, the company I am honored and humbled to lead since March last year, has since joined the Paris Agreement and committed to abandoning coal as the traditional primary source of energy. So, ladies and gentlemen, COVID-19 is putting us all to the test. It is a stress test for authorities, regulators, businesses, corporations, for the leaders we are, and we are rising to the challenge. During lockdown, 10,000 of our employees at Solvay were all of a sudden, almost overnight, working from home. And there was not a single day where we let that get in the way of our work and business continuity. We adapted our IT, we adapted our infrastructure. We were able to produce and donate over 1 million bottles of hand sanitizers to hospitals, governments, and local authorities, among other donations. We created, in fact, during a crisis, new partnerships to fund creative, unprecedented solutions. With Boeing, for example, in a record time, we came up with the new reusable face shields. Now, if we were able to do from 1 week to the next, that, how much more can we do in the next 30 years? This is what I would like to talk about today. In the midst of this major crisis, even if COVID seems here to stay, we need to regain our ability to think long term, to make efforts and imagine the years to come. In fact, this conference is an opportunity to do just that. You name it, shaping the post-crisis infrastructure world, recovery quality technology. I call it one eye on the microscope and one eye on the telescope. Coming out of the crisis, emerging stronger, but also already preparing for 2030. So here is my question for you all. What a typical day look like in 10, 15, 20 years? Imagine with me, it is 2030. I wake up early, I listen to a special history program on the radio. It goes back to 2024 when SpaceX first took people to Mars and an astronaut took her first steps on the red planet. I keep listening as I get ready for a work conference I'm attending that day. I get morning coffee for the cafe down below. I can pay through just a facial recognition device. No need to go to the airport to catch my plane. Mass travel has changed with fewer large aircraft and more mid-sized, family-sized planes. Today, I just need a two-seat drone to make it to Paris, Europlace 2030. These drones leave every 10 minutes from the train station nearby. And in fact, the traveler, not the plane anymore, is at the center of the equation. And air travel has also become more conscious of our planet and resources. I could be flying on an Airbus hydrogen or a hybrid or a fully electrical plane or on a plane using technologies inspired by solar impulse, the first solar-empowered airplane to do a trip around the world without a droplet of kerosene. That day, in fact, I see several small planes flying around together, you know, those flocks of birds that form a V in the sky. The planes are doing just that. That's optimizing wind exposure and saving energy. Their flight is silent and smooth. In fact, the future I see is green, which doesn't necessarily mean less mobility, but rather low impact, leaner, and efficient mobility. Upon landing, I used my car sharing app to find an electric autonomous vehicle. And these cars were designed to reproduce the interplay of ant colonies using IoT or artificial intelligence. The vehicles are connected. They can collect and exchange data with one another and with surrounding infrastructure, including the power road I'm driving on, transforming solar rays into energy. Paris is a smart city, full of sensors and software. No more traffic jams, no more circling around until you find the parking spots, and above all, more safety. I can see cars, but also air taxis getting ready to take off. Instead of building more infrastructure, urban players were able to repurpose existing ones, including highways, so we could do more with what we already had. The future I see is smart, in the new technology that we use, but also in the way that we use it. I finally make it to the conference center. I'm a little early. I can go to your 3D printer lab. My VR headset started acting up on the plane and I need it for my presentation. The problems comes from the charger. I'm able to fix it in no time. I've had this headset for 6 years now. Fortunately, planned obsolescence is no longer a problem. We designed out waste, as a lot of people now have 3D printers at home and were taught in school how to use them along with coding skills. The future I see is empowering for all and inclusive. And this is performative speech. I say it not because I think it's automatically going to happen, but because we all need to make it happen. I could take, in fact, many more examples. How we use waste to produce food from bin fork and drinkable water from toilet to tap. In 2030, it has become widely accepted. How we have been cleaning up the atmosphere, how we plant veggies on streets or vertical green facades, how we use solar energy in all our industrial plants, how we use technology that hasn't even been conceived today. And this is precisely the point I want to make today. What do we want the future to look like 10 years from now? We choose to go to the moon, said American President Kennedy in 1962, if you may remember. 7 years later, Apollo 11 was indeed landing on the moon. In 7 years only, you can solve all the issues that come your way and you can change the rules of the game as long as you have the will. The example I took are not eccentric. Don't be mistaken or off of the wall ideas. We at Solvay are participating, innovating, and investing in each and every one of these disruptive future solutions. And we will play our parts in reinventing this green, smart, empowering future that is also profitable. We are, for example, accelerating our investments in electric vehicle batteries, in hydrogen fuel cells, in circularity, in bio-based food ingredients, in disinfectant that last longer for better hygiene and therefore for better health. Remember that the chemical industry is the mother of all industries. It needs to give the initial impulse, and we are already doing so. But we all need to drive in the same direction in our companies, in our investments, in financial strategies at the state level with the relaunch plans, equally at the European level. Europe has the potential of being a huge driving force. And I do believe in the European Green Deal. It's accelerating secular trends we believed in and we are investing in. But let's say things the way they are. Europe needs to catch up on automation and digitization, catch up on EV batteries and building charging infrastructure for electric and hybrid cars, Catch up to build in a robust healthcare system across member states that face the next epidemic. Catch up for a reliable, green, and affordable energy across all member states, with a level playing field for a fair competitive landscape. Catch up on 5G, clouding and AI technology to revolutionize our manufacturing industry and take it to 4.0, and with a workforce that needs to be reskilled. I want to believe that the European Green Deal will make a difference, that it will play a role in shaping a new, more sustainable, greener economy, and it has to accelerate and finance the infrastructure we need to deliver on 2030 vision and beyond. More than that, it should help us build a common horizon, because one person, one company, and one country alone cannot do it all. We need to bring different people from different backgrounds, orientation, and thoughts together to bring the right minds together. We need to sketch that vision of the future we are shooting for. And in fact, if you think about it, we need to start backcasting rather than forecasting. This is why events like this are so important. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to leave you with the following. We are the last generation to have the luxury to make a choice. Let us all keep in mind that we are not inheriting the planet from our parents, but borrowing it from our children. And I wish I could say that in 2030, climate change will be a problem of the past, because science will have found new solutions, because technology will have enabled us to meet the Paris Agreement and the Science-Based Target Initiative set by the UN Global Compact happened earlier than planned. I believe we all hold positions that empower us to not only imagine the world, but to also go ahead and build the world we imagine. Already the financial community, bankers with green bonds, ESG funds are starting to look at companies. I invite them to do more. Companies who commit to making a change. And we need coherent disclosures, including ESG metrics that are consistent across industry sectors and countries, delivering on the promise of responsible and stakeholder capitalism. So let us be pioneers. Let us invest in the right technologies and projects, support winning green technologies. Let us turbocharge a European, a French, a Parisian initiative to meet the planet's as well as society's needs, with the financial backing needed now to support such a future. This conference will be a success if we all walk out and think together we are working to lay the foundation for a common, a better, and more prosperous future. And you can count on us at Solvay, and you can certainly count on me. The new Solvay is ready for the next 150 years of making science serve a greener and more inclusive progress. Thank you very much.
Ilham KADRI, Chairwoman and CEO at Solvay. Madam KADRI, thank you so much for your inspiring keynote address that wraps up the first half of the day of this inaugural day at the 4th edition of Paris Infra Week. We really thank you so much. Gives us lots of things to think about, lots of food for thought as we are actually heading towards the break now at the conference, and we'll have things to discuss.
Enjoy.
We will discuss definitely some of the key messages of your address for sure, as we're going to also go to the second half of the day of the conference, of the inaugural day of the conference, which we're going to be switching a little bit the focus from Europe, going to a bigger picture and looking at global agenda. Thank you so much, Madam KADRI. Thank you, everybody here in the room, and thank you, everybody who's following it in stream.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.